This part of training camp is absolutely terrible. As you of course have seen it by now. According to Ian Rappaport, Lions veteran defensive end John Cominsky is out indefinitely with a torn MCL, per me and Mike Garofolo, and he's set to have surgery. The belief is he's out 5 to 6 months, which does open the door to a potential return for the playoffs, but for now, the main focus is on rehab. Terrible, terrible news. This is bad. This is the bad part of training camp. This is the part of training camp I hate, is the injuries. It's so unfortunate because guys don't even get an opportunity to play that season when injuries like this happen. This is our third injury. As you've probably seen the other injuries that happened today, our backup reserve guard, Netane Moody, who we picked up, or I believe in February, he potentially also has a serious injury. So we now have 3 big serious injuries through training camp so far, which I believe is tied or already beaten the amount we had last year. We had Zylstra and Kennedy have severe injuries last year, and we had Kennedy, Netane Moody, and Cominsky now have serious injuries, it looks like right now. Moody might not be serious, but I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. But back to Cominsky, this is absolutely terrible. You'd never want to see this to players. And I'm going to rant. I'm going to rant a little bit. I don't like to rant on YouTube that much, but I'm going to rant. This is why we pick up a defensive end. This is why we do it. You got to have depth, because if something was like this to happen, and Cominsky's out essentially for the year, essentially we have 2 UDFA defensive ends making the team right now. Mitchell Aguado and probably Isaac Ugwu would make the team right now. Before John Cominsky went down in my working on 53-man roster prediction that will be up on YouTube, 2.0, I had Aguado making the 53-man roster, and now I also have Isaac Ugwu making the 53-man roster because of Cominsky going down. This is absolutely terrible. This is why you have to have good depth at the defensive end position, because it's one of the most positions that get hurt the most often. And the problem is there's not many people left. You got Yannick Ngakoue, Carl Lawson, Matt Judon on a trade potentially, and Marcus Golden. Like that's about it. There's nobody else. You have to bring in a guy. There's no more excuses. You have to bring in another guy. And I'm talking about a guy who has production and has been in this league a long time, like Cominsky, but a guy who has had production and potential and can stay on the field like a Yannick Ngakoue most of the time. But this is absolutely terrible for Cominsky. Hope he gets another opportunity. Now, do I think Lions will place him on IR, or do I think they'll flat out release him? I think they're going to put him on injured reserve. There's a 50-50 shot he'll come back for the playoffs. However, I'm releasing him not because I don't want him to play in the postseason. It's mainly because we gain a little bit of cap space, I'm pretty sure. I believe we gain $1 million, somewhere around there, if we cut John Cominsky. I love Cominsky. I loved when we extended him 2 years ago, but the time has come, and he really wasn't that big of a piece last year. He really had an underwhelming year last year, and he was actually playing with the third team in training camp, so it looks like he was going to have even less of a role this year. So I do think the Lions will place him on IR, but I'm releasing him simply for the fact that I think you can gain a little bit of cap room. I know we have a lot of cap room this year, but just add to it. Now, if it's like voided, if it's void years, if he has a whole bunch of void years on his contract, I should have looked that up before I made this video. I don't know if he does. If he does have a lot of void years to where the money is spread out, then no, I will put him on IR, but I'm assuming that he doesn't have any void years, so all that contract was put into 2 years that he got. He got a 2-year extension, so I'm assuming all that money is within the 2 years, which means we would gain some cap room if we released him. So, sucks for Commish, man. I really hope he gets another opportunity, whether that's here or somewhere else. It says it's well deserved if he gets another opportunity. But we definitely need to pick up another defensive end. There's no more excuses. Brad Holmes has to pull the trigger. And I think there's a legitimate shot we could trade for Matt Judon now. He's from Detroit. He had an argument with head coach Jared Mayo the other day in training camp. I don't know what it was about. Maybe about a new contract is what I'm assuming. adding Yannick Ngakoue, Carl Lawson. We just need to add somebody who has productivity and who can teach the young guys like Cominsky would. But leave your thoughts and comments down below. Prayers up for Cominsky. Hopefully he gets another opportunity somewhere down the road. But this is the bad part about training camp. It's absolutely terrible is the injuries. And of course some more will come. I believe we have 2 more weeks of training camp to go. And it's so unfortunate. So one pride, go Lions. Put prayers in the comments for Cominsky, and I'll see you all in the next one.